Hey guys, Bacon here, back with a new lesson. Now in the last lesson I talked to you guys about assignment operators, relational operators, right? So I have different types of operators. Now in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys about pre-increment and post-increment operators. So what pre-increment and these post-increment operators are these are just values to increase a particular variable by 1. What I mean is, let me show you an example. So let me just tell you what pre-increment is. So let me tell you, pre-increment is something that increases the value of a variable by 1 and then assigns it to another variable. So let me say int I, for example, is 5. Now if I want to do, how I write a pre-increment operator. So when I write my increment sign before the variable, it's a pre-increment. Okay, so what I mean by this statement is that since a equals 5, I'm gonna add 1 to a first. Okay, I don't care about anything else, I'm just gonna add 1 to a. So a equals 5, right? Since I've added a equals to 5, now the new value of a is 6. So when I go ahead and I go and print the value of a, it shows me 6. I'll show you, let me just run it. So my value over here is 6, right? Now let me just assign it to another variable. Let me say int b equals a, okay, plus a. So what I mean is, how pre-increment works is that right now the value of a was 5. In the next line, the JVM reads this line and it's like, okay, I have my int b, and what should I make it equal to? I should make it to plus a. It's a pre-increment. So wait, let me just get rid of everything else. Let me just add 1 to 5, right? And then I'll think about it. So now the value in this statement of a is 6. Then it assigns the value to b, and it's like, oh, so b equals 6. So when I print out something like b plus, wait, let me just give you a little space between them, right? So now when I print this out, my value of b is going to be 6, right? And now since the value of b is 6, the value of a is also going to be 6. Why? Because the value of a, it's like, oh, pre-increment operator. So at this line I told you the value of a is 6. So that's why the value of a over here also is 6, and since it's assigning the value of 6 to b, that's why both over here are resulting in 6. Now let me take okay, this was, I guess, it for the pre-increment. Now let me think about post-increment. Now post-increment does the same thing, but it's just a little different. What I mean is, now let me take int c equals let me take 5 again. Now what if I do C++? Okay, if I do C++, what I mean is C, so the JVM is going to read this line, it's going to be like, okay, so C was 5, so okay, let me get rid of everything, and let me make the value of C equals 5. So whenever the JVM reads it, it's going to be like C and plus. Oh, it's a post increment. So okay, let me just add the value of C as 5, right? So at this particular line, the value of C is 5. Now when I come to the next line, the value of C becomes 6, right? So let me show you an example. So if I give you the print command, let me just copy it from here, right? Wait, let me print out A. Sorry, let me print out C. So when I'm printing out C, my value of C is 6, right? Why? Because in this particular line the value of C was 5, but over here the value of C is 6. That's post increment, means after you assign it, then you add. So let me show you a nice example for this. Let me say int d equals C++. So what this statement means, and let me just do d plus C, and just let me put a little space between them. So over here, so C over here is 5. When you come here, it's going to be, the JVM is going to read this particular line and it's going to be like, oh, C++, oh, so it's post increment. So let me just assign the value of assign the value of C to D first. So the value of D is 5, and then it prints out 5. But when I come to C++, it's going to be like, oh, C++. Okay, so 5, the value of C is going to be 5 in this line. Okay, the value of C. And in the next line, the value of C is going to be 6. So if we run this, here we go. So we have D equals 5 because it's going to first assign the value and then increase the value of C. So my D is 5 and my C is 6. Right. So I guess this gave you a clear idea about pre-increment and post-increment. So let me jump on to the algorithms. Right. So let me just, I've written some. Okay. So yeah. Alright. I don't know. So let me just take A equals 12. A equals 5. Right. And let me take so let me print this equation out. So what we can do is we can create a multiple increment options, right? So let me just, I've written this before this tutorial was made. So let me just copy this, right? Yeah. So over here now, since my value of A over here is 5, so this is my equation. Now what we can do is, in Java we can write a multiple increment and decrement operator equation, right? So this is an expression. So A++ plus A, this is pre-increment, minus A minus minus, which is a post-increment, and minus minus A, which is pre-increment. So I know it's confusing, but let's just go step by step and solve it. Now, since the value of A is 5, now we are not asking the value in the next line. We need the value of A in this particular line only, right? So it's printing out the value of A at this point, right? So let's go ahead and solve. So initially we see A++, right? So post increment, as I told you before, it's gonna first assign the value. So over here A++ is just gonna be 5 because it's gonna add the value later. Now A5 plus, now plus A. What did I tell you about plus A? Plus A is the value of A becomes 6. It's because pre-increment, right? It's going to increase the value and then assign. Now I need a minus over here, so I do minus A minus minus. Now over here it's a little tricky. Now it's A minus minus, right? So it's again post increment, and we know now A minus minus is just nothing but A minus 1, right? Same way A++ means A plus 1. So at this juncture our value of A was 6, but now when we subtract it from A minus minus, the value of A is already 6, right? Because over here we increased it to 6. So minus A minus minus, which is a post increment, so value of A remains 6. And now when I subtract it from a pre-increment again, minus A, what we are doing is the current value of A, which is 6, we need to subtract 1 because it's pre-increment, so it becomes 5. So when we solve this, our answer should be 0. Okay, so when I solve this, alright, bam baby, so my answer was 0. So this was a pre-increment and a post-increment expression. Now let me just take a little more complex example for you. Okay, I've written it down again over here. So alright, so over here, and over here let me take my value of A equals again 5, right? Now my system.out.println line, so this is my big equation over here. I have already written the solution. So how are we going to solve it? A++ is basically 5, right? So I've written 5 over here because it's post increment. When I subtract it, it's a negative sign over here, and it's minus B. So the value of B was 10, but because it's a pre-increment, this becomes 9, right? We keep further solving it. Now the plus A minus minus, so the value of A over here is 5. It's still 5, right? Because this is post increment, so the value of A still remains 5. So when I do A minus minus, it's again post increment, so nothing to worry about in this line. right? So over here I have a 5. When I subtract it now again by b minus minus, so the value of b over here was changed from 10 to 9, right? So the value of b over here is still 9, right? It's post increment, so we just write 9 over here. Now when we add it to plus plus a, right, plus plus a is pre-increment, so the value of 5 becomes 6. So I've written 6 over here. And when I add, now when I do b plus plus means it's post, so I just write in it's 9, right? So when I solve this equation, I should be getting something like, I guess 1 or 7. Yeah, I guess 7, right? Wait, let me see. Minus 9 plus 9 is 0, and I have 5 and 5, 10, and minus 9 it's 1, and 1 plus 6 is 7, right? So yeah, so this was my answer. So this is pretty tricky and it takes time to understand. So I guess guys, that's it for this tutorial. I guess you understood how I did it. If not, just watch the video again, buy some books, learn it from there, because it's extremely important, right? It's gonna be asked in different points and it's pretty simple once you learn it. Alright, I guess that's it, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.